very much for the introduction, and I'm indeed very glad to be here at Sri Lanka amongst all of you for the simple reason that I'm born here. I'm born here in Sri Lanka, and after my birth, it's the first time I'm again back to Sri Lanka, so it's a very special moment for me. I'm very happy to be here and happy to interact with all of you and share my knowledge, whatever I have gained over the few years. And so today my topic is new strategies for global leadership in a VUCA world. Now, how many of you all believe that even if you all are teachers or you all are educators, that each one of you is a leader? How many of you all believe? Please raise your hand. Come on, you have to believe it, that each one of you is a leader, because you all are going to be creating leaders, right? Yeah, so please, can I hear it loud and clear that yes, we are leaders? Perfect. So you all are leaders, doubtless, but now the leadership roles are changing every time. Why is it changing? Because the world is becoming a VUCA world. How many of you all know the full form of this acronym VUCA? How many of you all know about it? Yes? Yeah, that is Indian hands up. Can I have the Sri Lankan hands up? Okay, so I'll make it very easy for you all. Let me bring down myself to, bring down my, is my pace okay? Or am I too fast? Huh? That's fine, right? Okay, fine. So can I have the next slide, please? Yeah, so VUCA, what does VUCA stand for? VUCA stands for, V is for volatility, okay? Volatility, that is, you see the market right now, the economic condition of Sri Lanka, it's very, very, very volatile. So there is volatility. Next comes U for uncertainty. Is this something that you all had foreseen that it's going to happen again? No. So there is a lot of uncertainty. And then comes complexity. In the whole situation which is uncertain, are you all facing a lot of complexity, a lot of problems? Yes or no? Please talk to me. Please talk to me. Yes? Okay, perfect. And thereafter there is ambiguity, because you don't know what is the next step. That if I take a step A, will my step A would be better, or if I take a step B would be better than A. It is always, it's work in progress. Yes or no? Yes. It's all work in progress. So the full form of VUCA is, the VUCA world is VUCA. Is this clear with all my friends sitting here? Yes. All the leaders here? Yes. Please call yourself leaders. Yes. Okay, today onwards you're going to call yourself leaders. Clear? Next slide, please. Next. Now in this VUCA situation, how can you make the best as leaders? Is that the volatile situation, God has given us brains, yeah? God has given us eyes to see, God has given us senses to learn. So if you all are visionary leaders, that is, if you can see that tomorrow how can we change the situation, because we are educators as well. So a volatile situation can be changed to a situation with a positive vision, and you can actually change the volatility. Okay? Next comes uncertainty. When you know that you are uncertain about things, you use your education, senses, your surroundings, you speak to your elders and everything, and you change the session to you are more understanding about the situation. Okay, you are more understanding about the uncertain situation. Next comes your complexity. Complexity, you can change it to clarity if you all are a leader. Come on, I want to hear it from you all. Yeah, leader, right? And next is ambiguity to agility. What is agility? Could somebody just explain it to me, please? Who is an agile leader? Who is an agile leader? A leader who can adapt themselves to the situation is an agile leader. Who is flexible? Are you all getting me? My language is very simple, very, very simple language. A flexible leader, a person who can change and can mold himself or herself to a situation is an agile leader. And where you see ambiguity, you change the situation and you make it positive. So is this clear? That is your VUCA. You make it from volatility, you change it to you are a visionary leader. In uncertainty, you become more understanding. In complexity, you bring in more clarity. And in ambiguity, you become more agile. Now, how do you do this as leaders? It's just a 4-step way of doing it. I'll bring it to your notice. Yeah, come on, next slide, please. First is you need to have a growth mindset. Very important. What is a growth mindset? Anybody could tell me what's a growth mindset? Yes? Oh no. I want my friends from Sri Lanka to speak. I want my friends from Sri Lanka to speak. Because we are here for you all. Yeah, please.
As a global nation.
As a global nation. Okay, fine, I take that. Yes? Yeah, please. Yeah, please.
So growth mindset is actually a very important concept that is important for students, for us. In fact, any of us who have survived the pandemic, we surely had growth mindset. It simply means that we don't get bogged down by failures. In fact, we take failures as stepping stones and we move ahead. We consider them as part of the journey. And especially, not giving up, always saying that I can do better than this. So competing with your own past performance rather than competing with others is growth mindset.
Did you all get this? What is having a growth mindset? That is, you look for opportunities wherever there is complexities. Yeah? Wherever the water is shaky, wherever you see that the situation is not right, but in spite of that, you go and you find a solution for that is having growth mindset. So there are 2 types of mindset. Thank you very much. There are 2 types of mindset. There is a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. But in a VUCA world, we all leaders should have a growth mindset. Perfect. Next slide, please. Next is global mindset. Yeah, global mindset. It is important because we are a global community. Today, all of us sitting here are a global community. We've all come here to discuss. So it is important that you learn from us and it is important that we learn from you. For the simple reason that the situations that we face, we have different solutions to a situation. Sorry, can I please have silence? Sorry, it's a little distracting. Sorry, thank you very much. Yeah. So it is important that we, I lose connect. Okay. With a global mindset, because whenever we have a problem, we look at a problem differently using our resources in India, whereas if you all have a problem, you all look at a problem differently with your resources, available resources. So the moment there is collaboration, the moment there is exchange of thoughts, the moment there is exchange of information, this is when we can solve problem. Problem solving becomes very easy for all of us. So it is very important that the ones who are here this afternoon and spending time with us, it is because you all have a global mindset. You need to look at things globally. Don't look at things globally for the simple reason now when I tell you, now each one of you all are educators, many of you all are principals of your own school over here, your Montessori schools or early childhood schools, whatever it is. Initially see your school buildings, the walls, you all have walls, right, for your school to be safe and for the children to be safe. But now as globally as we are moving, you see that children are the soft targets for the terrorists, right? So if you really think tomorrow if you have to construct a wall, don't think that okay locally my children are really this much, so maybe my children are around 5 or 6 feet in height, so my wall can be around 12 or 13. No. Think globally, that is tomorrow even my school could be a soft target for terrorist attacks. So let me raise the height of the walls of the school so that it can be taken care of. And there is a very beautiful book written by Dr. Dheeraj here. There are safety rules for a school. It's a beautiful book, so you all must lay your hand on it and then see that these are how with a global mindset you can change the whole environment of your school. Very, very, very important. Having skid-free floorings, you all will compromise on floor. But tomorrow even if one child just has to slip and fall and something goes wrong, who's answerable? You as leaders are answerable. So please have that global mindset. Think aloud. Think aloud, which is very important as you in leaders, because you don't know. It's a world full of complexities. It's a very, very volatile world. Tomorrow Sri Lanka also could go through whatever today Ukraine is going. You don't know. I mean, tomorrow we don't know being in India. We really don't know what is in store for us. So it is important to have a global mindset. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, next. Strategic leadership. Very who can give me one example of a strategy that you all have in your school? One example of strategy, maybe strategy for food, maybe strategy for lunch, maybe strategy for break, maybe strategy for parents to call you up, strategy for parents to visit you all. Everything in a school is a strategy, right? We all believe strategy to various decisions, that is like you have internal strategies, it's not visible here. You have a complete framework, you have internal strategies, you need to change your strategies with your policy making. The same policies that maybe your grandparents or your parents who started the school, you can't run the school with the same policy. You need to review everything, and that is where your strategic leadership will come into force. Please start thinking globally, start thinking and change the policies, review your discipline policies, review your parent policy, your fees, so financial records also you need to start reviewing. That is also where your strategy will come. Strategy would come with respect to food also in your school, for the simple reason that nowadays many children are gluten intolerant, many children are lactose intolerant, many children are diabetic, juvenile diabetes. There are so many types that are allergic. So as a strategic leader today, I am bringing this VUCA word specially with respect to schools, because we are all school leaders sitting over here. So it is very important to have a strategic leadership with a global mindset and start reviewing things and looking at things differently to face the VUCA world. Next slide please, my friend. Wonderful. Research mindset. This morning our education minister spoke about STEM education. After STEM education he spoke about, what did he speak about? STEAM. Wherein in STEAM what was added? Art. Now after STEAM, now the world is talking about STREAM education, S-T-R-E-A-M. STREAM education, where R stands for research. Okay, so if you all want to be good leaders, you need to have a research mindset, extremely important. Now why a research mindset? The research mindset is because we need to educate children about climate change. If we have to educate children about climate change, we need to do research. Now, today we had Mr. Tiwari speak to us about financial literacy. Unless we don't research ourselves, how do we bring this topic to the children? Yeah? So, we as leaders have to have a continuous research mindset, for which you have to be a continuous learner. Keep on learning, and places like this, forums like this are beautiful places where you all can learn and we can learn from you. So why is it important? It is because now we are talking about IoT, the Internet of Things. The world is talking about Internet of Things. We've defined the word EdTech. Always it was that the teacher is the prime person in the classroom. But now technology has taken over during COVID. So things have changed. Yeah? That economic recession, there's so much of economic recession currently. You need to work on your fees. Your fee structures have to change, isn't it? Isn't it the ones who are owners of preschools? Yes? Yeah. And then you have financial instability. Then you have climate change. You have you have a lot of volatility with respect to geopolitics. Your neighboring countries are itself, your own threats. I don't want to name anybody, but today your own neighboring countries are your threats. So, because of this, we have to start researching, and we need to change our mindset, and we need to be global thought leaders, and we need to bring it down to the classroom with our little children to teach them what is this. But prior to we teaching them, we need to change ourselves. Next slide please. And how do we do this? Every leader has to be humble. Initially, leadership was what about Hitler's leadership? Hitler's leadership? No. So, this has to be humble. You have to be humble. Unless you aren't humble, unless you don't bring yourself to the grassroots, unless you don't start mixing with people, being one with people, how can you expect people to change, and how can you change people, and how can you let people believe you? You have to bring yourself to them. So this is for each one of you, that tomorrow when you are dealing with your parent bodies, please speak to them so that you can bring that change in your society. We had one of our friends over here who asked the previous speaker that how can we come up with being humble, being simple, being very simple, very humble, and with this you can be an excellent leader. Next slide please, my friend. So, it is integrity also. Success without integrity is failure. Very important to, nowadays we talk of intellectual property. What is intellectual property? Anybody who can tell me intellectual property? Intellectual property?
The experience of the knowledge gained over a period of time.
Yeah. You are right. You're partially right. Yes. Intellectual property. Yes, my friends from Sri Lanka.
Brain power.
Brain power. Okay, brain power. That is, say, suppose if a book is written by me, and then tomorrow you take my book and you take the points from my book and you put it under your name. Are you doing justice to the author of the book? You're not doing justice to the author of the book. So this is what is integrity. Integrity is also making your children in school understand that whatever belongs to you, whatever belongs to him, belongs to him. The world belongs to all of us, but at the same time we need to respect what belongs to you and you need to respect what belongs to me. Ethics. You have to be very strong with your ethics. Very strong with your ethics. Your value system has to be strong. In spite of whatever is going around in the world, you can't shift your value system. Can you? That today there is corruption, okay, I'll also become corrupt. Okay, tomorrow there is some war, okay, I'll also take part in the war. You need to stand straight with your own values, and that is with integrity. So every leader needs to have this integrity, and each one of you as a leader needs to imbibe this quality of being having integrity. Next slide, please. And this is the time for change, and it is you who has to embrace this change. Embrace this change by living in this VUCA world and teaching this to your children, because you all are today the mothers. You know, in secondary and higher secondary school we can do a lot, but then you all are actually the stepping stone for the children. So it is for you, so your leadership is more important than our leadership at that age when children come to the secondary and senior secondary, because these are the functional years of the children, and unless you don't bring that change, it's not going to happen. So I would like to end this session with a short story. There was a farmer, okay? There was a farmer one of the days, because of heavy rains, he lost all his farm, everything he lost. But then one day the king wanted water. The king was very, very thirsty. He wanted water. He went to the farmer and he asked him for water. The farmer gave him water. He quenched his thirst. The king was very happy. So the king told him, okay, tomorrow I am going to reward you something. Whenever you need anything, come to me, come to my kingdom, ask me for whatever you want and I'll give you. So the farmer, one of the days, he thought, let me just go to the king and ask him for something, because I've lost everything, you know. In the rains, I lost all my farm, no crop, no money, nothing, let me just go. So when he went to the king gave him, as a token of his appreciation for serving him water when he was thirsty, he gave him a cinnamon farm. Sri Lanka is famous for cinnamon farming. Very expensive farm. Yes or no? Is it cheap? Is it cheap? No. So he gave him a cinnamon farm. And when he gave him a cinnamon farm, the farmer was very happy, very happy. Then one fine day the farmer saw the cinnamon farm. He said, okay, I can cut this and I can sell it. I can cut it, I can sell it. I can cut it, I can sell it. Okay? And this way he cut the whole farm and he sold the whole farm. Another day the land was barren, absolutely barren. Absolutely barren. And then he was wondering, what did I do? What did I do? So now tell me, what is the moral of the story? What do you get by the story? What do you get by the story? Yes? Yes, please.
Plant once and then you cut. So that
No, plant once and then you cut. No, he lacked a mentor. He didn't have a good mentor. Because initially also he lost his farm. He thought maybe that's the way we lose farms. But then if he would have a good mentor, he would have kept that cinnamon farm, he would have watered the trees, he would have taken care of it, he wouldn't cut it, and he would grow more, and one farm would result in another farm. With that money he would be able to buy another farm. So this is it, you all are mentors for your own children. Okay, what I mean to say in a nutshell is that you all are mentors for your own children, so please try and bring the best in them. Teach them values, teach them how to grow well, give them the kind of financial literacy that he has spoken about, because in this VUCA world that's very, very, very important. So think out of the box. Don't give them the normal run-of-the-mill subjects, Hindi, your own language, then a little bit of humanities, a little bit of science. Yes, of course, interdisciplinary learning, but you also need to take them to a different level of understanding. Thank you.